Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Welcome back to yet another podcast. And what do we
Konnichiwa,
have today?
konnichiwa.
Mosh mosh.
Mosh mosh. We have something very, very, very interesting. Something unique.
Something unique, something very horrifying, something which was
No shit,
impending to happen anyways.
Very horrifying, yes. I shouldn't have said that with a smiling face, but yes, very horrifying. Something which was bound to happen.
Yep, it was bound to happen with things how it was going on, so it was bound to happen. Anyways, before we move on to the next part, which is basically the story, let's quickly go through all the normal stuff.
Rules and regulations.
Rule number 1, please drop a like. It helps the algorithm quite a lot. Last time I had given you a goal of 10 likes. I haven't uploaded that video yet.
Not yet.
So I don't know if you guys succeeded or not, but this time it's going to be 11 likes. Just one more like. More than before.
You can do it, guys. Come on.
Yep.
You guys have been so awesome to us. Just one more like.
Yep, just one more like. You guys are 800. 100 of you watch. Like. 1 like per view.
Yes.
It's still gonna get us to the amount of views we get. YouTube algorithm loves it a lot, so please do it, guys. Come on. Let's do it. Come on. And yep, drop a comment. Let us know whatever you have, any thoughts, any suggestions, any ideas, any deductions, whatever you have down in the comment section. Right there.
You guys don't drop anything at all. Come on, guys. Haven't you guys experienced anything in your life or heard of anything at all for that matter? Come on.
More than hearing or experiencing anything. Come on, guys. Let me break the shit. It's algorithm. You guys need to do something about it.
Yes.
Algorithm needs it. It demands for it. So yeah, you guys, please do it. Do something about it.
If you have to say a hi, just say a hi. Doesn't matter, just say a hi. Don't drop spam links though.
And I'm sorry I was looking up so far because I was checking my camera framing.
It looks good to me.
I mean, could be possible, I don't know. I'm still a little concerned with the lighting of it, so anyways, doesn't really matter. So yeah, please share the video with your friends and families. These are very informative crime related and cause related podcasts we are doing for you guys. So yeah, please, what say Sharon, correct?
Correct. I mean, some people can be like, crime, what good thing can we take out of this? You can.
I bet you
Perspective
guys haven't
matters.
heard of this case in a long time.
No.
Because I haven't seriously found more than one famous podcast, crime podcast channel who has covered this. So yeah, we are getting this fresh out of an old stock.
Yep. It's been hidden in the grave for a long time, literally.
Yep.
What's it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yep, share it with your friends and family. Subscribe if you're new around here, and if you are a returning viewer and a subscriber, much love to you guys and girls, lads, boys, whatever. Just love you guys coming over here, chilling with us, having fun. And if you are new, subscribe, turn on notifications to get more cases like these and cause casts as well, which is towards which carries a motive of giving us a new cause, bringing a change.
Our casts have been doing really well. Thank you guys so much for that.
Lot.
If you haven't watched the previous one, go ahead, show it some love. It'll be popping up here.
Yep.
But yeah, make sure you watch it.
Amazing support. Little more. And keep increasing it every time, every video, and that's gonna get us to places, and you guys are gonna get amazing content. And like the last time I had mentioned in my podcast prior to the one which I'm going to upload next, I'm gonna be launching another channel the day we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Which is going to be all about blogging, motovlogging. So if you guys want that, go ahead. This channel is strictly going to be podcast content.
Only. If you want to watch gaming, you can head over to Twitch.
That's always there for you guys.
Yes.
Twitch, live streams, games, that's all. I'm going to be streaming after this recording. which you guys are not gonna know anyways, because this is gonna be quite.
It's okay. We just forget. Never mind.
It's okay, but yeah. Moving on with the case. Do you want to shed some light upon it, or do we start it?
We'll just start. We'll give it a nice little mysterious intro.
Okay. By the way, much love to the Diablo team who has spent time researching on the content for this entire script and making the readout video, right? The readout video for this, like as usual. So massive thanks to them as well. So you guys show some support. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Let's do this. Oh, something new this time.
Oh.
I just hope the sound is not too much.
Yeah.
Check. What is this? Okay, something better than those.
Something better than just a visualizer. Yeah.
Rwandan Genocide. Limited or no advertisements, but that's what sponsors and donations are for, isn't it? That's what I like to refer
hey guys,
to
sponsor
as the
and
Rwandan
donate.
Genocide. The tiny nation of Rwanda had the opportunity to see nearly every type of war crime imaginable 1,000 times over the space of a mere 100 days. And while discussing African crimes, we frequently hear a lot about them, but never so much why these disasters occurred. You probably want to know why, and may even question why. So let me explain why. Let's get started, then, is what I say. The Kingdom of Rwanda was located in a fertile, green country with numerous hills. Since when did it exist? That's a tricky one. Even the origins of Rwanda's two ethnic groups, the Hutu and the Tutsi, are uncertain due to the country's murky and ill-defined history. Feel free to refute my theory after I present it to you. There is not really a difference between the Tutsi and the Hutu. Genetically, culturally, linguistically, and other ways are all quite similar between them. To put it plainly, Tutsi was a Hutu peasant noble. It was a monarchy. After all, the animals and the fields belonged to the minority Tutsi. The majority of Hutus would use it. Their lifestyle and even physical traits contributed to their variances.
So Tutsis
were the minorities and...
But also the landlords.
Yeah,
Doesn't really make sense.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Total stature and skin-related phobia are luxuries that come with a simpler life. The German Empire
Racism,
claimed
basically.
Rwanda as a part of German East Africa in the 1890s. They considered the Tutsi to be unquestionably superior and the Hutu to be racist. Given that, King Moa was merely a puppet of colonial officials, and the Germans imposed their control via the Tutsi. Following World War I, Belgium received Rwanda, incorporating it into Burundi and placing it under their rule.
Oh, this was during the wartime, I'm guessing.
The wartime, yeah.
Yeah. Belgium, then I guess it's towards your World War II time.
See, guys, I'm not good with history. This one's on Diablo.
It's okay. I gotcha.
Wait. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Okay, camera is recording.
The racial rhetoric was amplified. To distinguish between Tutsi and Hutu, measurements such as height, noses, and skulls are compared.
Racial discrimination.
Made, an identity card had their ethnicity printed on it.
Yep, totally.
Similar to Nazi Germany, but not quite. To harvest coffee for the Belgians, the Hutu were coerced into performing forced labor. The Tutsi soldiers oversaw the cruel and terrible work, and in return, they received compensation for their privileged position. Segregation was practiced in all of these areas because the Tutsi were given preference in employment, housing, and education. Change would occur during the Second World War. The colony.
Okay,
Oh,
so
then it's
wait.
not even during Second World War. It's much before Second World War.
Much before that. But
Yeah.
the Hutus were harvesting coffee for the Belgians or Tutsis were?
Hutus were harvesting
were.
coffees for the Belgians, and the Tutsis were the supervisors basically over there.
But Tutsis are the minority ones, right?
But they are the landlords.
Huh. Doesn't really make sense how you're a minority and still have
I
so many benefits?
I guess I was just briefly going through this entire distribution of
Mm-hmm.
Tutsis, Hutus, and there's another caste called the Twas who also
The
kind of went
Twas,
through the
yeah.
same fate. But
Mm-hmm.
what I was saying was the Tutsis were most wealthy
Mm-hmm.
and they had a taller physical appearance as well,
Okay.
while your Hutus were shorter, stouter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
physically stronger, but little less to do towards the wealth side of things.
So the Tutsis were wealthy.
Yep,
That's all that matters.
yep. And Twas were the least wealthiest amongst all the three.
Okay. Okay.
So what I'm guessing over here is even if they are minor, I mean, I guess probably because they are considered under the black race, they are
Mm-hmm.
considered as minorities because these are tribes, and tribes are literally just dissolving these days. People moving into cities,
Makes
getting
sense.
educated. So I guess
Makes
that is
sense.
why Tutsis were considered as minorities and Hutus as well, including to us. All these three categories were minorities.
Were basically minorities, but among them,
These were
the
a little more well-to-do caste, is what I'm guessing.
yeah, Tutsis, yeah.
So from there, what I can get a picture is probably because they owned the lands and the Germans wanted to cultivate coffee on it.
Cultivate coffee.
So they use the manpower of Hutus and the lands of Tutsis, and in turn they did their own stuff, wherein they made Tutsis, being the landowners, supervise the Hutus doing their job. And I'm guessing over here the labor thing was also pretty high, which means things were done in a wrong way as well. Slavery, you know how things go with slavery.
Got it.
How they end up south, anyways.
Was handed over to the United Nations, and the Belgians were now told to get it ready for independence. Furthermore, majority rule would entail Hutu rule. And as a result, the Belgians abruptly shifted their support to the Hutu. The Tutsi and Hutu are engaged in their 10th standoff as a result of abrupt advancements in freedom, equality, and democracy. Both the Hutu and the Tutsi dreaded retaliation. An independent Rwanda in the 1950s was inevitable. But what sort of Rwanda is this? Political parties with a Hutu majority, like PAB, Hutu, and UNAR1, were created alongside Tutsi political groups.
I hope you guys don't mind because I have no idea about these full forms at all. My team did inform me about abbreviations being there in this entire video, but trust me, I did not find anything about it. Nothing I could describe. Nothing Google could describe for me.
The max we can do is try to give you the full form of it, but still try, but I don't know if it's possible.
Maybe I'm gonna see if I can search a little bit more and find the full form. And if I do, I'll ask the editor to tag it up, like you can see some random demo text right now, something like that. Whenever the abbreviated terms come, I guess I can probably do that. But as of now, as of this point of time while recording this video, I have no idea about these full forms at all, abbreviations at all. And I'm guessing the independent Rwanda was because of post-war UN intervention.
And the second is the current Tutsi monarchy. As rumors of Tutsi killing Hutu proliferated, Rwanda was on the verge of civil war. It did. The Hutu rebellion broke out in riots, arson, and looting in November 1959.
There we go.
In the MOA, the Tutsi were swiftly victimized. Made a counterattack suggestion. Military action from Belgium almost immediately followed. However, after the Belgians regained control, the MO's intentions were abandoned. The referendum that would determine the future of Rwanda was scheduled for 1961, and the Belgians chose to arbitrate the elections. The Hutu cast a resounding vote in favor of their republic. As a result of this and the continuous anti-Tutsi violence, more than 300,000 Tutsis fled to Rwanda for exile. In 62, Adi split up into Rwanda and Burundi. And the Tutsi fled ended up in northern Uganda or Burundi.
Just now I remembered I had read another article wherein they had clearly mentioned that the Tutsis were pretty violent whenever they would supervise the coffee cultivation done by Hutus. Yep. So basically the fire was burning
So, wait.
already.
The killing, I mean, like the story mentioned, the Tutsis, there was a rumor that Tutsis were killing Hutus, correct? But no reason was mentioned as to why it started in the first place?
It's not really very clear. No one till date knows clearly why and what is the reason. Is it political?
Political
Is
or
it
just pure,
hatred?
community
Community
standoff?
hatred and
I don't know.
rivalry, or is it economical way of it, or a racial way? I have no idea. They all are of the same race, so I don't think it's
They all
race.
are of the same race, so
Maybe
I don't think
caste,
that's...
because caste is a thing in India. We all know that how messed up it is, but I don't know.
But then there is a common thing of landlords always showing their superior side to their slaves.
True that. That's always been the case of the older Great Britain.
Exactly, the older...
Europe, basically. The older Europe.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. We
Could
don't
be,
know.
yeah.
We don't want to speculate. We're just throwing out random assumptions here, but we're just guessing what it could be.
No one in specific could point out why
Yeah.
this started, but what I am guessing, and that one article that I had read made kind of some sense in my head, was because I think that is there in here. Let's just listen to it. If it doesn't come, then I'm going to tell about it.
Yeah.
It has to be there. It's a very common point.
Confrontations with those in Uganda. With this justification, the FAR, discrimination against Tutsis, was swiftly smuggled into the republic under the pretense of suppressing rebel activity. Burundi stood out sharply from Rwanda. A Tutsi military administration ruled over a Hutu majority in Burundi. And in 72, the conflict in that nation degenerated into a genocide that claimed 200,000 lives. Mostly political and educated. Hutu. Both Hutu and Tusk were afraid of Hutu. In Rwanda, a general seized power in 1973. He prohibited all political activities. It was a one-party state in Rwanda. Being the Hutu that he was, he made an unexpectedly minimal attempt to make peace between Tutsi and Hutu.
It just makes sense.
The issue.
To his efforts.
That's where the issue
Rwanda
starts.
was not a place for the Tutsi, and the Burundian genocide was still fresh in people's minds. The moderate president could not enact reform.
That just makes sense. It just makes sense because he belonged to the Hutu tribe.
He belonged to the Hutu tribe.
He hated the Tutsis. He ruled
He didn't
the
make
country.
any effort to stop.
One party, Democrat. One party. Basically, you have no option. You go to the elections, you just see one name on the list. You're like, I might as well just.
That just goes to show.
Yep.
And
obviously, if he didn't put any efforts, things were gonna go worse. Obviously. And this side was this 200,000 deaths were done by Tutsis to Hutus, I guess.
They mention, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, we're getting somewhere.
Yep. I mean, I don't really get the point where this guy is a Hutu tribe
Mm-hmm.
representative who is
Mm-hmm.
ruling the country, and Tutsis kill Hutus in Burundi, and he doesn't do anything about it. Maybe that started the fire.
That's like like we both
I
said.
mean, the
I mean,
fire was already there.
this just
Many
the
things
fire was
just,
already there. This
yeah,
is just adding fuel to the fire,
fuel to it. That's
basically.
all, like
Yeah.
multiple occasions.
Yep.
Oppression by the Tutsi tribes while
Yep.
supervising the coffee cultivation. The president of, not president, the prime minister or whatever, the leader of the one
The
party,
leader of,
whatever was
yeah,
there. I have no fucking idea what the name is.
the lead. Okay, the one ruling the country,
The one ruling the
the Hutu
country,
leader.
not doing anything. Second drop of fuel into the fire. Let's listen to more if there is anything else.
However, Tutsi persisted. Men like Fred Ruma and Paul Key, who belonged to the Rwandan Alliance for National Unity in Uganda, tried to change it. They took part in the 1980s Uganda Bush War, and after winning, they were given important posts. For the Tutsi, living as a refugee was not an option. The Rwandan Alliance for National Unity, however, reorganized to become the militaristic Rwandan political front. It was a seasoned troop prepared to invade Rwanda and bring the Tutsi back to their homeland. A home. On October 1st, 1990, many of these refugees were still in their infancy. Rwanda was invaded by RPFF, stepping over a border. The stronger force had been taken off guard by the rebels, who had advanced quickly, although this only lasted a short while. Commander Roma passed away quickly. It wasn't apparent how he passed away, but he was dead nonetheless. In addition to this
Who was
loss,
dead?
hundreds of French forces.
The leader, I guess.
The leader.
Yep.
Oh, so they don't know how he died. He just died.
I guess, probably. I'm just speculating, guys. I guess
Okay.
assassinated because he wasn't doing shit.
I mean, totally makes sense, bro. You're a leader for a reason. You're supposed to do something about it.
Yep.
Arrived in Rwanda to protect French nationals, but that was really a cover. Giga had been studying in the US, but suddenly left his degree to fight the war as you do. Being a Belgian colony, Rwanda belonged to the French-speaking continent. However, Udo was formerly a British colony. Consequently, France wanted to defend its Francophone societies against what appeared to be outside dangers. When Gigame arrived, the RPF was almost completely decimated, and he had less than 2,000 troops left, which he had taken to the mountains.
I know only one full form, and that is RPF, which is
Railway Protection Force.
no. Rwandan Patriotic Front.
Front. That's what they're talking about. By the
Yeah,
way.
RPF.
In this location, they would be strengthened as Kagame looked for funds for his guerrilla war. Only after the new year did the offensive resume, and it was much slower and more guerrilla-like. Despite the fact that President Hayman's position appeared solid, the FAR and French. The French would express threats of leaving. Hayman, however, was under pressure to promote equality and political freedoms in his nation. The president would give the opposition that was in power a few token concessions. His own wife was the only opponent who managed to remain in power. She was a staunch
His
Hutu,
wife?
and the Azu surrounded her. A powerful secretive extremist gang.
His wife was an
What is
opponent?
going on in here? I'm not understanding this case one bit.
His wife was the opponent?
I'm absolutely not understanding this at this point of time. Anyway.
Well, I have seen cases of your partners standing being your opponent, but like what?
And by the way, I guess the person who they mentioned was dead nonetheless. It was somebody else. Yeah. Because the
That
leader is clearly still alive. My god, this case is so confusing.
okay, this case is hard to wrap my head around.
But let's see if we can get
Make some
one.
sense out of
Yeah,
it.
if we can get the point why it happened.
Yep, let's see.
They disseminated anti-Tutsi misinformation that fueled prejudice and violence. In response, the Tutsi would increasingly gravitate to the RPF. In 1992, when the nation was in the midst of a civil conflict and in dire need of change, HA once more announced the formation of a one-party government. The Kigali capital would erupt in
There we go.
protest.
Another
He had
drop
finally
of
agreed to
fuel.
create a multi-party cabinet and put an end to the unrest. Agreed to engage in initial negotiations with the RPF. The beginning of peace began with a ceasefire in July 1992. The conversations would take place between not the FAR and the RPF. To avoid coming across as a resolute rebel, he solely dresses to please observers from around the world. Although they refused any form of peace, the Azu had a different perspective, and the president was merely trying to protect his position. There was no concern for peace. Throughout the negotiations,
Another droplet.
grew afraid of the Azu. His wife had developed into a very potent and dangerous force, along with her associates like TNS Muga. He made an effort to eliminate their influence, but this simply made them more enraged towards Tutsi and anyone who disagreed with them. Muga aided the emergence of the loosely coordinated Interthek by encouraging self-defense groups around Rwanda. AK would establish the free radio station in the hills, an unrelenting wellspring of anti-Tutsi rhetoric and Hutu dominance. Following a killing spree in February 1993, for which the AKA was held responsible, the RPF withdrew from the peace negotiations and resumed the onslaught. The atmosphere has radically altered in the past 6 months. The economy of Rwanda is in ruins. The RPF was strong while the FAR was weak. They left a path of devastation in their wake as they approached Kigali's gates in a daze. Rape and abuse were commonplace.
Just a
In their
common scene.
killings, targeting political and educated Hutu is not uncommon and is not unheard of. Millions of Hutus ran away in fear for their lives. The Hutu of Gali prepared to perish in battle while the French increased their efforts, but Penzu chose not to attack. This would rather be a warning to his adversary. With the peace negotiations back on track, the international world put pressure on Giga to give up his recent achievements. A sizable DMZ was therefore established between the two sides. The RPF threat is less immediate. In response, he made numerous concessions to the Tutsi rather than these radicals, sensing the mob breathing down his throat. This paved the stage for the August signing of the Arusha Accords. The Republic was destined for power sharing, a single armed force, and more. With a large force made up primarily of Belgian soldiers, the United Nations would send out a new mission under the direction of Canadian General Romeo Dallaire. FUT in Rwanda appeared to be intelligent. However, it wasn't. Baga had departed from the Accords to, in his words, get ready for the end of the world. The red flags were
A threat.
obvious, and members of UNIM started overhearing a lot of talk of a permanent solution as Hutu power rallies grew popular among the damaged, openly antagonized Tutsi, and casts of firearms, explosives, and most obviously machetes were finding their way to the malicious courtesy of the AKA Zoo. The Security Council has simply spoken out again and again, not to create peace, but to maintain it. The hands were so bound.
Wow.
President
What?
Wow.
Not to create peace, but to maintain it? Bro.
Like there was any peace there. Anyways.
Like there was any in the first place. You need... See, this all just ties up now. Like, you had made no efforts to do anything about the situation that was going on, and
It was just bound to happen, isn't it? No one was
it's
doing
just
shit
bound to
about
happen.
it. They just,
Nothing could have stopped it.
it almost looks like they wanted it to happen.
The one person who could have stopped it itself did not stop it. So then, who else can?
And the person who had to stop it belonged to the tribe which was suffering at that point of time.
Hmm.
A man's plane was shot down on April 6th, 1994, outside Giga Airport.
There we go.
RPFF, was that it? The ICAO, perhaps? Were they?
I just predicted it, I guess. I mean, he was gonna go down anyways, the way he was reacting and not giving two shits about anything. So, I guess I just predicted it, and now he's dead.
I think he's dead for good, hopefully.
And this time I am in a confusion because either two could have killed him. Because the main reason why he was Hutu, and that time the Hutu shit was going on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that was also a genocide which has been hidden in here.
It's a it's a hidden genocide. You can
Yeah,
say.
it's a hidden genocide. Because 200,000 Hutus being killed is not a small number
Not a
in
small number.
any way.
Mhm.
And he didn't do anything about it. So at this point, I won't even be shocked if the
Him
Hutus
being a
itself killed
Hutu
him.
and not doing not doing anything about it. I don't know if we're mistaken or it actually
We
it is
could
what
be.
it is.
We
But
possibly could
we
be mistaken.
We could be, because it's hard to wrap our
See,
heads around
come on,
this
guys.
case.
Let me break it to you guys. All these cases are so old. There is not
There's
proper
not
documentation
much.
anywhere that can be found on it.
Yeah. All you can find is news reports, I guess.
Yeah, news reports of the survivors, which we'll get to anyways. We've watched a few videos of the survivors. We'll get to it. I still remember the dude who was making the script for this for us.
Mm-hmm.
He literally begged us to change the topic. It's like, I'm not finding shit on this. Please change the topic. Let's do something else. This is not gonna work out.
It's pretty hard. Plus, there's a lot of political stuff going on around here. It's kind of hard to
I try
wrap
not
your
to
head
get into
around
the
it.
political side of stuff, but when it comes to
Things.
such huge numbers, usually the politics aspect gets shoved in anyhow. And
Yeah,
especially if it is nation related stuff, there's 100% gonna be politics in that.
100%. Yep.
Jews? Probably not the final one, but the solution as of right now is unknown. In the ruins of the plane was burning up what was known as Tranquilly. Dora and other senior military figures
Dora?
convened as the crisis committee
Maybe
shortly
someone's
after
name.
the incident. It was an open attempt at taking control. General Del Delay was aware of this and understood what it meant for her prime minister's legitimate successor. AGA pronunciations are not my strong suit. The prime minister was a committed moderate. She promptly assigned a UN escort to her in order to be protected amid this pandemonium. And initially, the chaos was a highly aggressive presidential guard, but it quickly evolved into something much more. Even worse than that, the Intera Harm would hear a code phrase broadcast on the Thousands Hill Free Radio. Cut the cost trees well. Old Tutsi and moderates were attacked and murdered by the militia as they marched through the streets in organized bands.
There we go. Here it begins.
Old friends, neighbors, and family were discovered to be irrelevant. At best, the FAR did nothing, and at worst, they helped them.
What?
They were nonetheless barred from the university.
Wow. At worst, they helped.
University by the rules of engagement.
You have something to tell?
This thing. thing is something that could have been easily avoided, but at the same time, it was bound to happen. I don't know how, but it's
Because it
the
was
irony
not
of the
easily
situation.
avoided.
Exactly.
Something that
Oh
was,
man.
never mind. It was just cooking. It was picking up pressure like a pressure cooker.
Cooker and then
But
the
the latch
whistle.
wasn't sealed ever, and the leak wasn't fixed.
No, it could have been fixed, but
At all costs, belligerence was to be avoided. The recollections of the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu. 19 U.S. servicemen perished, and the political repercussions haunted the Security Council. All international organizations were at risk in Rwanda from compromising their neutrality, thus the UN's peacekeeping mandate just required them to remain to themselves. Since they desired their removal and understood how to execute it, the FAR were already one step ahead of the UN. The Prime Minister's escort would be overpowered by their renegade soldiers, who would then compel their surrender, kill the woman, and kidnap 10 Belgian soldiers. They would undergo horrendous torture before being killed slowly and with a machete. Not able to do anything. The first night had been a horror, but the world would eventually react. The evacuation of foreigners and expats started on April 8th when
Only the
French,
foreigners?
Belgian,
Wow.
and U.S. forces arrived in Rwanda.
not surprised at this
Only
point.
foreigners were saved, and all Rwandan refugees were turned away. Actually,
Wow.
France did take several AKA Zoo members from Rwanda, and it's possible that they also left some supplies for the FAR. The force that might have halted this massacre was left behind after their departure. And shortly after that, Udemy is abandoned in front of 10 dead guys by the Belgians and many other people. Dalia was abandoned, and the Ghana remained to help where they could. Being court-martialed while treading carefully. It was the definition of a thankless job. It would take 100 days for the genocide to spread. The Massa is being held by groups of villagers who were frequently just armed with machetes. They were informed what to do, and the FAR assisted them in carrying it out by the company of mass rape and looting the radio. They all agreed that goals should always outweigh means. Violence-filled oppressors, the Tutsi. For a peaceful Rwanda, they had to be eliminated, yet the dead piling up in the streets are silent. To me, peace
Yeah,
had
you don't
virtually
say.
immediately after the president's departure
Wait,
resumed the
one sec.
civil war.
What?
I said you don't say. You have to eliminate a race, a group for peace. That's how peace is achieved.
No, see, honestly, you cannot blame them, can you now?
Also true.
It'll sound controversial, but you cannot really blame them.
Mistakes are made. Sorry. When you clap your hand, you use two hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll sound controversial, but it's actually,
It is what it
honestly,
is.
you can't really
This is
blame them
politics,
because
guys.
they were
I
been
mean-
oppressed for so long.
Hmm.
They had been victim of violence, harassment, molestation, hunger, depravity of rights for so long. It is bound to blow up one day.
Human tendency.
And the thing which shows that the amount of oppression was there on them is the fact that the only choice of weapon they chose at that point of time was machetes.
Machete. Exactly.
Because machetes are cheap and easy to get.
Hmm.
Hell, even if you don't buy one, you can make one.
You can make one, exactly.
Yep. So that shows how badly oppressed they were. Also doesn't justify what they did,
Doesn't justify what they did, but
But honestly speaking, that was going to happen one day. None of these political parties did anything towards the fact that there was no
to change
peace.
anything in the country, they didn't do shit.
In fact, they were what do you tell? In fact, they
Encouraging,
were informed to maintain peace and
not create peace.
not create
Exactly.
peace. Just maintain whatever is there. Do not worry about the rest. And then on top of that, the leader not giving two shits, the UN not doing proper job, the French, whatever the
The French
colony
just abandoning
abandoning the country, the
them. Yeah.
Belgium's abandoning the country before that.
I mean, this all just tied up together to result
Everyone
in
just
this.
tried to start fire and ruin it for this country altogether.
Yep. Yep.
RPF had an easy time creating a bleak picture of the enemy because the FAR was too focused on committing genocide to be a useful combat force. UNIA repeatedly urged a truce, but it was never heeded. Refugees might gather
There you
in
go.
large numbers behind the RPF's lines. That line had given up Kigali in late June. The more powerful and outnumbered, using both conventional and psychological warfare tactics. By July 4th, FAR was vanquished, and the RPF took control of the capital. After Kigamimi's victory, the genocide came to a conclusion, leaving 800,000 people dead from the genocide alone. Millions of fearful Hutus went to Zaire to live as refugees, including FAR Interwayazu.
4
After the
times.
Civil War, the former regime and its adherents found themselves across the border like the Tutsis in the 1960s and carried out raids and attacks there just as they had in the rebuilt republic. GME presented himself as the vice president, but in reality, he was in charge. The genocide's wickedness and the RPF's bravery were made widely known by RPF propaganda, which also repeatedly emphasized both. KAA made sure you didn't realize that Rwanda had changed to be about peace and reconciliation. However, the RPF's own crimes were also made to be forgotten, and today, not much is being done to bring these instances to justice.
Wow.
Rwanda was merely a shadow of what it once was. A nation with 40% of its inhabitants lost as a result of decades of hostility, violence, and mistrust was also traumatized. Rwanda had been changed by the genocide. It was now Rwanda. The international community gathered to pay their respects and express regret for not knowing and acting too late, as the dynamics of Central Africa had drastically changed and the way had been paved.
I'm just speechless at this point of
Regarding
time.
the
I'm just
worst
listening.
conflict that would ever befall Africa, the Congo Wars, at least up until now. A nod of the head was given to the customers, and Oliver Hunt, David Kendall, Thomas Curley, and Anal Scrub sketches received a more pronounced nod.
You see? Oh. Okay, still. Okay.
It's still going on?
Haha.
I'm not gonna lie. Good job with the video.
Good job, though.
Oh, it rolls out as well. Nice.
Oh.
Cool touch
Nice.
over there. Honestly, cool touch over there. But anyways, getting back to the
You see, getting back to the thing, you see, even after the whole incident was done, mistakes were still made.
Yep.
Nobody brought it out in the light. Nobody did anything about making a much more peaceful Rwanda.
You remember
Who's to
that
say?
news report from that jail, right? The Rwanda prison. You saw the condition of those people, right? See, whatever it is, you cannot, again, like I said earlier, you cannot blame the Hutus alone in this, nor
You
can
can't blame
you
the Hutus
show
alone.
pity for Tutsis alone over
The
here.
Tutsis, yeah.
their ancestors have done, not ancestors, their previous generations have done shittier stuff to the Hutus, and that thing's repercussion was 4 times more
Was
than
yep,
what had happened back then. So
4 times more. 800,000. Are you kidding me?
200,000 Hutus in this genocide, 800,000 Tutsis, including Tuas.
Including to us.
Yeah, I remember reading one of the articles
Mm-hmm.
where Tuas were also killed,
Caught up in the whole thing.
caught up in the whole thing. Yep.
Sad. That's just sad.
Although I'm totally not undermining the fact that many people lost their lives, and obviously this is saddening. Many victims. We saw so many reports from victims on YouTube. We read articles on that. They were they were telling about how tough it was during those times. That span of 100
Obviously.
days, wherein they had to hide in
Hide. No
unbelievable
food.
places. No food,
Unbelievable places. No food. No proper place to rest. Forget rest.
no clothes
You
to wear
can't.
properly.
No clothes to wear. Yeah.
No roof over your head to save you from the sunshine or the rain. There was a clip wherein uh, you could see it. It was a far off shot from, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
from some higher place, and the camera was zooming in, and then it was showing Hutu rebels killing
Oh.
a person with
Yeah,
bludgeoning.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. And by the way, this, if you guys don't know, the streets are as it is. You can see a numerous amount of skulls
Yep.
on the road,
If not the
everywhere.
roads, at least the churches
The
and
churches, yeah.
the memorials. They haven't buried all
And there were
these
some on
people
the
who
roads
died.
as well.
Could be
Were
possible.
there? I don't know. Could be. I
I
don't know.
don't remember seeing it, but I'll tell you what, this genocide still hasn't stopped.
Nah, nah. I was going to bring that. Who's to say it will happen again?
No, not only that, it's actually still going on. There are still rebel groups who kill each other. Even now. Do you remember that other documentary we watched? Wherein
Mm-hmm.
people were being thrown off of hills and mountains? There are many, many killing rings like this in Rwanda till date. Apart from the fact that people in the prison, few of them are falsely convicted, few of them are truly convicted, but they want to atone for their sins, and they
For
want
their
to
sins.
they really want to correct themselves, but
Hmm.
there is absolutely no justice system. The
There's no
entire
saving grace for that country,
Nope.
is there?
Nope. There is no justice system, there is no legislature, there is nothing. Everything has collapsed to such a point that there is absolutely no saving, like Sharon
Why?
said.
Just why? I mean,
I don't
that's the
know.
question we are left with at the end of this podcast. Like, why?
Probably,
Could there
probably
have
it
been
can be.
something
I don't know. Probably just
that,
the misfortune of the entire country altogether.
they say the sins of your ancestors will befall on your future
Yep.
generations? It's a perfect example.
Yep. Karma is a bitch.
Hmm.
You don't wanna mess with her.
Spoke about this in the Lost.
Yeah, in the
the
lost
last,
cause
the
cost.
last, the last cast.
In the lost cause cost.
But yeah,
Yep.
this
I
is just a sad
I'm
sad
still
situation for
sad
the
for.
country.
Yep. I still pity whatever is happening over there, and but there's nothing that can
Just
be done, I guess.
hope that someday there will be some sort of
Peace,
saving grace for
hopefully.
them or peace for them. But
I mean, to the
yeah,
outside world,
hopefully,
it looks like it's in peace, but
True. I never knew about this. I mean, I never knew that it's still going on. Even if I just heard about the genocide, I didn't know it was still going on.
Well, I was sitting and watching reports. You remember that day? You were on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Diablo walked in. He was like, "Oh, Rwandan genocide."
Mm-hmm.
Like, good choice.
Ah, yes, 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 yes,
Good
yes,
choice. Then he was
yes.
like, it was massive hit to humanity at that point of time, and how the justice system just could not do and
Failed.
still can't do anything to
Still
this
can't
day.
do. Just failed that country. Totally.
I keep mentioning every single time, right, that
Hmm.
the judicial system botch up, biggest one, and they still can't fix it.
Biggest in the list so far. You know what? It just change the channel's name to Diablo Ronin Judicial Watch-ups. Exclusively brought to you by us.
That other lady also, the victim,
Huh. The survivor. The-
she lost her parents,
If you
her kid. No, not her kid. She got the kid later. Fuck.
she got the yeah. If you want to like actually go into depth about this case, or you want to hear survivors' point of view, you should seriously go and watch some videos.
On
It's
YouTube. Yep.
really very sad. It's very sad.
It it literally tells us about all the traumatizing visuals that they saw. Bodies
I still
being,
cry to this day.
yep, bodies just being like live people hacked and slashed to death, impaled to death, stabbed to death, anything. Just that lady, the one who I was watching that day, she
Mm-hmm.
mentions, I don't know her name. It wasn't mentioned in the video. She was 13 or 14 back then, I guess. And then she was hiding. She was in the bush. The Hutu rebels asked the lady for an ID card, and then in the ID card it was mentioned Tutsi. Like we heard
Tutsi.
that
Yeah, their
ID cards
ethnicity is
used
printed
to.
on the ID.
Yep. So they just straight up chopped her neck off. Her baby was still feeding off of her.
Her baby, the survivor actually witnessed this
All
thing
this. Yep.
happen in front of her eyes, and yeah, the baby was still feeding on the headless.
Mother. Yep.
Graphic, I know. If it disturbs you, just please click off. But
I mean, the
yeah,
disclaimer must have rolled in the beginning already. So.
mm. But
And apart from that, the mass rape issue which was going on during the genocide, how many people suffered from HIV from that? My God.
HIV kills though. If you didn't know,
Yep. I mean,
it
I'm
does.
pretty sure people know that by now.
Yes.
But yeah, a
Mass
very,
rape,
very saddening.
mass killings,
Yep. Mass failures,
mass failures.
blunders.
Exactly. I
It's
mean,
it's
I
it's a
don't
deeply
think
saddening
we
thing.
can.
Not only from one side of, not only like one
Both
perspective
sides.
of it, both sides. Both were
All
treated bad,
sides. Hmm.
and
And the
nothing was ever done about it.
poor third community was also had to get caught up in it. Who knows how many people from that community were killed?
That just never turned up, you know. That number just never turned up.
Never turned up.
Jeez. Anyways, I think it's been an hour. Let's wrap this
Hmm.
episode up, and that's it for this fateful episode.
Fateful episode
Confusing,
podcast.
saddening, and mildly infuriating at times, but
Hmm.
uh,
I just hope everything goes well from here on.
nah, I don't think if anything,
Hopefully, we can only hope.
we can
We
only
can
hope.
only hope.
If nothing hasn't gone right yet, nothing is going to ever go right ever again.
Actually, yeah. It's
Yep.
been what, 20 years?
1994, Shad. 1994. And the latest reports
Oh,
of the
yeah,
genocides
1994.
being uh, conducted still was in 1996 and 1997 as well. So after that, we still don't even know what has happened.
Anyways, I think we all should click out of this episode
Yep.
with a deep thought in our heads.
Yep. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, you guys know the common drill which I mentioned in the beginning of the video, so I'm not gonna waste time on that. And let us know about more suggestions and new cases. Come on, guys, please let us know.
Come on.
We are
New
always
cases.
left
You
to
guys must have heard. Yeah.
yeah, we are always left to search our own cases. Just send us a case and see how we are gonna do on that, and then just try it once and see. We want some viewer activity on our channel as well. Don't be so dead. Let's have
the
some
views
activity.
and all are good. The views and all are good. Just help us out with the comments and the likes.
Yeah,
That's all.
algorithm loves it. It's like maple syrup for algorithm.
Yep.
Just do it. If whatever that animal was who liked maple syrup, Winnie the Pooh. No, that was honey. Fuck.
Okay, we'll stick with honey.
Yeah, we'll stick with honey. If YouTube is Winnie the Pooh, likes and comments and subscribes are like honey to it.
Or maybe if you want to stick with maple syrup, if YouTube is a pancake, likes and
Whatever, just whatever. Leave it. So yeah. With that being said, guys, please do the rightful things, and let's see you guys in the next episode. Until then, stay safe. Love you all. Stay awesome, guys.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks for watching, and good night.
And good night.